Welcome to Global Perspectives, your go-to source for insightful analysis on global events. In today's video, we dive into the European Union's recent decision to impose hefty new tariffs on Chinese carmakers. Let's break it down. As Chinese electric vehicles become increasingly common on Europe's roads, the European Commission smells something fishy. On June 12th, after an 8-month probe, the EU's executive arm accused China of unfairly subsidizing its industry through tax breaks and cheap loans. This has led to fears of a clearly foreseeable and imminent injury to European carmakers. To counteract this, the EU has decided to impose provisional tariffs ranging from 26% to 48% on Chinese EVs starting in July. For comparison, other imported cars face a tariff of just 10%. The exact duty for each Chinese firm will depend on their cooperation with the investigation. In the short term, it's hard to identify a clear winner. Car buyers might suffer as prices of imported cars rise and competitive pressures on European firms ease. However, European car makers aren't celebrating either. They didn't request this probe, which was initiated under pressure from France's government. German companies like Volkswagen and BMW, which manufacture many cars in China and export plenty there, have been particularly vocal opponents. They now fear retaliation from Beijing, which seems inevitable. China has hinted at raising its tariffs on large engine vehicles, primarily German, from 15% to 25%. It could also impose stricter regulations on foreign car makers operating in China and expand tariffs to other goods like agricultural products and aviation. In January, China fired a warning shot at France by initiating an anti-dumping investigation into cognac and other European brandies. Europe's tariffs will also impact foreign companies that manufacture cars in China for export to Europe, with an average duty of 31%. Tesla, the American EV pioneer, is the most exposed. European mass-market car makers, facing the greatest threat from cheap Chinese electric runarounds, are also in the firing line. Carlos Tavares, CEO of Stellantis, initially seemed to favor tariffs. However, he has since cooled on the idea after a deal last October with Chinese startup Leapmotor to produce cheap EVs in China for the European market. Renault, which exports EVs to Europe from China under its Dacia brand, has called for a level playing field and more supportive European industrial policies. For Chinese carmakers, higher duties may temporarily slow their progress, giving European firms a chance to launch more competitive vehicles. However, the tariff barrier is unlikely to stop them completely. BYD, facing an extra 17% tariff, sells its Seal EV for around $24,000 in China and double that in Europe, suggesting it could absorb the new duties and still make a profit. In the long run, the tariffs might even accelerate China's conquest of the European car market. To become significant players, Chinese companies were always going to have to produce their EVs locally. BYD plans to build a factory in Hungary and another in Spain. Chery has also signed a deal to manufacture cars in Spain, and others are in talks with European contract manufacturers. In a sign of the times, BYD has replaced Volkswagen as the main sponsor of the European Football Championship, which kicks off on June 14th in Germany. Even if EU member states vote later this year to make the tariffs permanent, it is unlikely to significantly disrupt China's ambitions. Thanks for watching Global Perspectives. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates on global events. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think about the EU's new tariffs on Chinese car makers. See you next time.